This is Amy. Time will be starting in 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So this game was released in 2012 as a downloadable title for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. It is published by Lexus Numérique and developed by VectorCell, headed by veteran game designer Paul Cousette, who you may know from the Flashback series, both the 1992 original and the 2013 remake. Also, the seminal gaming classic, Shaq Fu, Enforcer of Justice. A bit about this plot, just to make sure you aren't too lost here. In the opening cutscene that we skipped, it's Christmas Eve, and we have kidnapped a child to take her to the city to cure her autism. Oh, wow.
Wow.
So, all right. And then seemingly unrelatedly, the apocalypse happens. And the primary antagonist of this run, as you may have sussed out already, is going to be the loading times. Now, against all reason, I am going to hope that if things go a little bit wrong here with the run, ideally it's going to go flawlessly. But if things go just a tiny bit haywire, that would be good, because I do want to share with you all the sheer chaos that is Amy for PS3. And I get starting off with a mistake, getting stuck in the bathroom. That's not supposed to happen. You don't want to do that. That's a time loss. So a brief history of the run. This run actually has its roots in revenge. We played this originally on stream just for a Halloween spooky stream last Halloween, and things. The game could be charitably described as unfinished. It's a little frustrating. It's a little ugly. It's a little obtuse and difficult to follow. And the experience was so frustrating, so obnoxious, that I determined I would conquer the game in my own way and crack it open with a speed run. And then from there, I was joined by Vexel and Ship Toaster, who spent a lot of time helping me lay down the initial route, doing all of the initial cracking. And then after we were accepted to SGDQ here, we were joined by veteran spooky game speedrunner Starwin, who has spent the last couple of months helping us further refine the game and optimize this route. So shout out to all of them for their immensely valuable work over the last couple months in developing this. So part of the reason why, so I'm actually new to not speed running as a whole, but this is my first proper speed run that I have been involved with. This is my first GDQ in attendance, and I'm super glad to be here. But one of the things that's always fascinated me about speedruns is essentially that community aspect, the communal process of puzzle solving, of taking a game and really peeling it apart, figuring out what makes it work, what its own internal rules and logic are, and breaking them down into their base components and really challenging sort of the implicit rules and looking for the actual hard rules. That a game may present you with one scenario, but then does not actually prevent you from doing something completely divergent from that. And the train conductor has come out to play and is in a very bad position here. I am probably just going to have to kill him. I'm sorry, dude. There we go. Can I get around him now? There we go. And spooked by an art and punched in the head. Oh. So that train conductor doesn't always spawn, and usually he meets me at the end of the hall where it's very easy to get past him. This time he decided to just stand in the one place where I can't get around him. So just gonna, these puzzles here we actually need to solve
Don't have a
properly.
set solution. Got to figure it out every time.
No. There we go.
Yeah.
Quick solution, get past Marcello. Now we're able to get through the grill, and we should have a zombie waiting for us right here. And there we go. Make quick work of him. movement is going to be essentially critical to this run. One of the things that you may notice is that I'll be doing a lot of Zoolander turns. Lana's pivot point is actually offset to the side of her character model, and this will be particularly noticeable when we hold hands with Amy, if I can get her out of the bathroom. There we go. Because of this offset pivot point, it can be difficult to navigate around corners. We're all friends of Cello. We can all call him Cello.
All of us.
All of us. I particularly love that this hole is more than large enough for Lana to squeeze through, but we need Amy to go through these holes.
Push the button, Amy.
She is essentially a glorified inventory upgrade. Oh, there's one of the fun little just things that we don't really understand about the movement system of the game, that Lana will sometimes lurch forward of her own volition during cutscenes. And now we get story time with Cello,
Let's see if you can figure
as
this
we
out.
wait for this airlock door to load the rest of the level.
No, this little scratch, don't let it scare you, Amy. I got it from my last client. Can you believe that? A regular. I asked Mrs. Jenkins for my fare, and she up and sinks her teeth into me. 20 years I've been thriving, and nobody ever bit me. Not even when I was driving the docks in Jersey.
Joyzy.
No sooner do I get away from Mrs. Jenkins when your train comes crashing into the station.
Please open the door. Please open the door. Get me there. Let me out of here.
This way, you did.
All right. So this whole, as I said, I am new to speedrunning. I started a project on Twitch, basically a show called Speedrun Learning Curve, that was essentially dedicated to this process of really taking a run from bare bones and bringing it up to a completed presentation. And I really liked that framing of it, the learning curve aspect, the idea that we
Such a brave girl.
are never entirely done, that the curve for these things is never finished, that it goes upward, that it improves, that it refines, but it is never truly completed. And one of the things that we learned in this process, we actually found that Amy, as a speedrun, is pretty beginner friendly, in the sense that there's a lot of leeway in it. It's pretty accessible in terms of being able to reach a point where you're feeling that sense of progress, where you're able to, take your time, you're able to take your casual time, which is going to clock in between like 6 and 8 hours, and quickly chunk it down, get it below, get it below an hour and a half, actually start running the speed stuff and get it below an hour, get it down to, below 50 minutes, below 45 minutes. It's pretty forgiving in that regard. There's no immensely complicated techniques that you need to learn. Probably the hardest thing is some of the attack patterns are a little bit tricky, but they're not, by the standards of what a lot of people are pulling off in these competitions, just the immensely high skill ceilings that we've seen already this week, Amy is pretty doable. So if you're looking for something to get into, and I'm suddenly, okay, there he is. There is a possibility that Marcello can get glitched out in that last room in the chain link maze, and he'll just run around in circles forever, and you won't find out until you go back to see what he's doing. And just losing Amy on some debris, and all right. There we go.
No door is smart enough to beat Cello in his
And then all of a sudden, Cello has a magic key that can just open any door. Boy, would that have been useful a few minutes ago. A recurring motif that we'll be seeing through the rest of the game is elevators with controls that are nowhere near the actual elevator.
Just on different levels.
Just on different levels, in different rooms entirely.
So proud of you, Amy. You did it.
There's Chapter 3 is going to have just a truly, like, just phenomenal control placement for one of its elevators.
It's called a puzzle, Dan.
It's called a puzzle. Yeah, we'll get back to the architecture in a bit. So right around the corner here, there's going to be probably the main tech thing that we'll be doing on Chapter 1 here is I'm going to cut this corner really close and then start attacking. So the game has actually taken control away from me, but we can still attack and use that to move forward so that we can get under this table and trigger Marcello's closing dialogue, which then all overlaps itself and plays out of order. And that's the end of Chapter 1. And now would be actually a great time to read some donations during the loading here.
Excellent, because we got a lot coming in for this one. We have a $250 donation from the Children of the Craw. Says Stream Chat is here to cheer you on.
Aww.
Good luck, Dan.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
We have a $100 donation from NYC John. Says, but why would you want to beat Amy quickly? The story and gameplay are so rich. Good luck. We have a $50 donation from Cad Wallader. Says, Dan, seriously, Dan's content is fantastic, and watching him build this speedrun from a hilariously broken, terrible game has been a blast from start to finish.
Aww.
We've got a lot of loading to go through.
Yeah.
All right, well, we've got a lot more, so we're good there. We have a $20 donation from Diego155. Says, hey, Dan, thanks for letting me film your corn rant. Cheers from Wellington. We have a $25 donation from O'Lorwin. Says, Cello is my favorite character in Amy. I can't wait to hear his advice throughout the run. Good luck, Dan.
Good luck. All right, so coming into Chapter 2, Chapter 2 is going to have a lot more, I guess, conventional speedrun techniques in that the main thing that we're going to be using here is we're going to be abusing the chapter reload system, or the checkpoint reload system. So checkpoints weren't actually originally part of the game. They were patched in shortly after release. In fact, the utterly brutal lack of a checkpoint system is one of the things that savaged this game in many reviews.
Everything's gonna be okay. I promise.
And so having been patched in after the fact, they behave in odd ways and in a lot of ways that the developers didn't necessarily consider. Also, yes, this ogre out of nowhere, and I think I hit that button too quick. There's a good chance that he's going to come around and just kill me here. He might follow me all the way down to the end of this hallway. We'll find out.
Oh, by the way, Cello died.
Oh yeah, and Cello died in that last, in between those two chapters. It turns out that the soldiers didn't care that he's not in fact dead. Just make sure the ogre's not waiting for me around the corner. And yes, we already have giant ogre creatures, even though this apocalypse happened about 30 minutes ago. So this is our second zombie type that we're going to be encountering. We affectionately refer to them as Jareds, and the primary zombies as Steves. It's a nonsense in-joke that we just developed in chat over the course of running the game. So the really fascinating thing that I find about this story is I do want to try to sum it up, but it resists summarization. Because even if you know literally everything that happens in the story and you can describe it, it still doesn't make any sense. The ends just don't line up in any meaningful way. So the brain resists it, and you find yourself being like, it's like, okay, well, what's happening is it's like, okay, so there's the Phoenix Center that Lana, I guess, works at, and Amy is a test subject, but wait. All right, so this is going to be our first checkpoint reload. So this first one we're doing just because reloading at this checkpoint is faster than waiting for the rest of the level to load manually. But immediately after this, we're going to have another checkpoint reload that we're going to use to skip an entire puzzle. If this wants to finish loading anytime now. And there we go. So flashback to Marcello and his classic line, let's try finding a phone. as we look into a room where there's no phones. So we need to lure this soldier out of the room, but instead we can just click on the lock that hasn't finished popping into the environment yet and reload the checkpoint, and it will solve that puzzle for us. So the checkpoints, broadly speaking, how they work is they will just set your inventory to whatever the game expects it to be, or that it logically should have been for you to get to that point. I'm a little sad, actually, about how much we've cut out of Chapter 2 in a speedrun sense, because there's too much here from a game design standpoint to talk about. I can really just encourage you to play Amy casually and just marvel in what is going on with Chapter 2 here. So those red things that I ran through back there, I mean, I'm sorry for mentioning something that we just went past, but in our initial play, we got stuck there for almost an hour. Like, I think it was like 55, 56 minutes, because there is nothing in-game that actually indicates how you're supposed to approach that puzzle. And the answer, what you are supposed to do is you're supposed to walk through those as slow as the controller will allow you to. Like, just absurdly slowly creep through them. Or, as we discovered, you can just plow through them at full speed, and that also works. And a lot of times they'll just, yeah, there we go. From a design standpoint, I'm actually fascinated by this room, just because it indicates sort of an approach to what the designers wanted to do with the game. They wanted it to be a lot more open world than it wound up being, so you have a few environments that are just these giant complex spaces where there's literally only one thing to do. It does make me curious about what this would have looked like if they had had, you know, more time, more resources, if things hadn't gone poorly. It was developed by a very small team, and you know, they did their best. They did their best, and even if it didn't turn out as intended, I do think we have gained. We have all benefited from now being able to see it in its speedrun format. It is a terrible game to play casually. It is an amazing game to speedrun. It's a lot of fun, despite and even because of the things that can go wrong with it, the chaos of it. All right. In practice earlier, I forgot this green key card, and that was embarrassing. And now I'm just waiting till I can hear that guy breathing and get out here, and I don't know where the second soldier was.
Did he not load?
He didn't show up for work today. That's good. He's the second soldier that usually kills me, so if he's going to call in sick, I'm not going to complain. All right, we're going to stop here, just heal up for safety, and duck in here. We have another mastermind puzzle to solve. Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. I'm just going to start that one over.
Reload's a different solution if you load it again. There we go. End of Chapter 2. Good time for donations.
All right, we have a $5 donation from We Go Giant 3. Says, hey Dan, greetings from the front row. I've been a big fan of your YouTube channel, Folding Ideas, for several years now. So when I found out you were running here at SGDQ, I knew I had to watch live and donate. Good luck on your run. Money goes to Runner's Choice.
So that's going to be the, what are we doing? Skyward Sword?
The blindfolded final boss.
Blindfolded final boss for Skyward Sword later tonight.
All right, we have a $25 donation from a huge pair of googly eyes. Says, want to donate to Médecins Sans Frontières and support their good work. Dan, also known as Foldable Human, and his stream co-host Crystal are my favorite streamers, and Folding Ideas is one of the best YouTube channels out there. Save the animals. $10 from the F. Paris Cat says, hey, Dan and Crystal, thanks for your dedication for playing the best, worst games ever made. Joyzy for the win. Money goes to Runner's Choice. $10 from Emma174 says, good luck on your run, Dan. Make Amy, the cat, not the game, proud. Also, can you please explain the corn emoji meme?
So I'll explain the cat thing first. My cat, completely coincidentally, my cat is also named Amy. It is pure coincidence. The corn emoji meme, I don't know if I could explain it quickly on stream here. It takes a while. That takes a while. But I have very strong opinions about corn
So strong.
and our societal relationship to it, needless to say. So chapter 3 here is the one that has frustrated us the most from a speedrunning standpoint, because it really feels like there should be more that we're able to skip, but we can't. And so the first half of the level is this giant room that we just run back and forth across, and even though it doesn't really take very long, it feels like it's a lot longer than it is, because it feels like it's an eternity, because you're just going up these elevators and down these elevators. And
I told you, Dan,
you'll
it's called a
see it.
puzzle.
That's
It's called a puzzle. It's not a particularly good puzzle. I have opinions about good puzzles. All right. So this is actually a good time to then, because it's this really quite boring traversal puzzle. So this is a good time to talk about, I guess, some of the textual elements of Amy, and in particular the character of Amy and how she's handled. This isn't something that we've really, or we touched on this during the intro, that Amy is autistic, except this is a thing that really only exists in signifiers. There is no direct reference to autism in the game. But there are paratextual references to it. It was used in interviews, in promotional materials for the game. The developers did, highlight this aspect of it, that it's like, oh, you're escorting this autistic character through these environments, and they were using that as essentially cred promotion. But unfortunately, Amy's autism is a thing that really only exists in a pop culture sense, that what we have really is we have a shock mind that doesn't want to play ball.
They're so much more sensitive in this chapter.
They really are. We essentially have all of the standards of a frustrating companion AI. They behave in nonsensical ways, they have poor pathing, they just run around at random, and that those signifiers, those marks of just being a poor AI, have instead been interpreted as, oh, well, this character is autistic. And unfortunately, this just ends up perpetuating, really kind of negative stereotypes of the autistic community, and it's not great. It's not great. Not a fan. Not a fan. Do better. I love your work, Paul Cassette, but do better. All right, so now we get this just glorious zoom in on Amy's terrifying face. It's really like you've got those old Renaissance paintings where nobody knew what a baby looked like, and so
They
all
just
the
painted
babies,
them with a grown man's face.
all the babies had a grown man's face. Yes, I know it has to do with they wanted to depict the baby Jesus as having, wisdom and the wisdom of babes. But still, you end up with all of these kids with just adult man faces, and she's really evocative of that. So if we're going to get chaos, this is going to be it. This is where things tend to go just terribly wrong for me. All of these zombies that we ran past are likely to catch up to me in a bit here, and that'll be fun. So what we're actually doing is we are come on, Amy, grab my hand. Grab my hand, come on, you can do it. There we go. We're backtracking to the beginning of the level to recharge Amy's powers at this rune, because this is going, even for the time that it takes us to backtrack, it's still going to save us time in the future, because now the next puzzle we don't need to solve at all. We can just bypass it entirely. Once she's done, we can start moving again. And all right, Amy, let's go see where the zombies decided to move to. Chances are good they're waiting for us at the top of this stack of boxes. I hope you like climbing 3 stacks of boxes in a row. and I hope you
And
like.
each one is like an animated cutscene.
Each one is an
to
animated
climb.
cutscene that you can skip by pressing start. There's the big speed text. Skip ledges. Oh, yeah, here we go. All right, this is going to turn into a real punch-up. They're all here. All right. The dodgy boys. All right, can we get past? All right, we'll just leave it. We'll leave him in peace. He can live to just, I don't know, run around and be a zombie. And that corner there, Amy likes to just walk off it. You'll climb up that ledge and she'll just step right back down. All right. Hey, we didn't get the glitch. She still has her powers.
Ooh.
I'm surprised because she got attacked by a zombie. Usually getting attacked by a zombie will cause her powers to glitch out entirely and she'll just lose them.
By at least a magnitude.
Damn, they're draining her vital essence.
They're draining her vital essence. As the tooltips tell us, don't allow the zombies to drain Amy's vital essence.
Well, she heals me every time I get sick. She's become a cure for the virus.
So, I don't know if you all caught this, but so what we're trying to do in this level is we're trying to get from the train station to the metro. But now we're running through this, and I completely spaced out on actually skipping the puzzle. All right. So we needed 2 shockwave charges in order to break both of these boards, and I'm just doing it in a slightly less optimal order. Suboptimal, as chat would say. So we're going from the train station to the metro, and now we're just running through this very industrial, just randomly warehouse-ish area that the next room in particular is going to be just complete nonsense in terms of how it's, what is going on? How are you? There we go. It's very evocative of like 90s level design. You know, if you're thinking like Duke Nukem, Quake, Blood, Hexen, when they would try to tackle urban environments that you would, you know, the engines couldn't really handle true verisimilitude, and so you would just get areas that sort of evocative of a all right, there we go. Evocative of a movie theater rather than actually looking like a movie theater. And so the environments would just kind of blend from one into another. Please stop letting go of my hand. You know, come on, grab it. There we go. Sometimes the game is just like this. She'll just refuse to hold on. So yeah, we get to just walk through this space, and we're not going to solve the puzzle. We're just going to walk along the top of this wire and pull these boxes out of the way, because climbing ladders is for chumps. Now, one of the things that I was actually thinking about is that it is a little bit absurd that things have gotten this run down, this broken in the, what, at this point, like 45 minutes since the apocalypse happened. Generously speaking, maybe a couple hours, depending on how much time went by in a few of the cutscenes. Oh, there's my favorite kind of Amy losing grip, the frame drop. Yeah, if the frame rate tanks low enough, then then Amy lets go of Lana's hand. But so if the world is this bad already, the logical answer is actually that it was already this bad before the game started. That this is just what the world of Amy is already like. And if you ask me what that means, I don't know. But that's chapter 3. And so this would be a good time for more donations.
All right, we have a $40 donation from a fan from Japan. Says, "Hey Dan, good luck on the run. I couldn't miss one of my favorite streamers live. Luckily, time zones are finally in my favor, so I can catch the run at a convenient time. Send my regards to Amy the cat. Donation goes to Crystal's Choice." We have a $250 donation from Kane and Lynch Venezuela level.
Oh no.
Says, Dan, why did you skip me? I'm narratively essential to the entire Kane and Lynch duology. Now you'll never know what happened to Jenny or Riffic or Carlos.
I hate that level so much. I hate it so much.
We have a $250 donation as well from the fifth Matt. Says, hey Dan, longtime fan of Folding Ideas. So happy to see you here and showing us this gem of a game. Money to incentive of your choice. We have a $100 donation from EW995. Says, greetings from Team No Sleep. Gotta be up soon, but couldn't miss this run. Play with the jacket, Enigma. Okay.
All right, so coming into Chapter 4 here. Chapter 4 is going to be pretty fast and furious. This is the one that I hope goes nice and smooth. So the first thing that we're going to do here, if I can pull it off right, is we're going to damage boost onto this ledge so that we don't need to actually walk across it. And there we go, first try. Then down the hallway, at the end of the hallway, we're going to have another one of our old friends, the proximity mines, which we can get through. Oh, one shock. We're going to push Steve just to slow him down. Grab this heal. Grab the healing. Grab the healing. Grab the healing. We're going to grab the healing syringe. We're going to pretend I did that on the first try.
You're so good.
That's so good. Nailed it. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Pick up the board. Take care of Steve in his Letterman's jacket. Grab the key card, open the gate. Zoolander turn to get out of the gate because Lana really likes to get caught on the corner of that doorway there. The anticipated solution to this puzzle is to lure these two zombies away, but we just hit them with a board. All right, so Lana's getting in pretty rough shape. We're going to stab her in the neck, and this is going to put us in a healing state that will enable us to run through these instant death zones to the checkpoint, reload, flex our hand while we wait for it to, while we wait for the game to get back.
Come on, game.
Come on, you can do it.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Oh, hey, Amy, where'd you come from? So in my casual run, this moment right here at the doorway is actually where I got stonewalled for a long time. It's actually quite difficult because you're expected to engage very heavily with the combat mechanics. And I don't know if you've noticed, but this game is a little bit janky. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to reject the implied rules of that scenario and just run down to the end of the hallway where we can watch the zombies spawn and watch them just trickle in one by one instead of swarming us from multiple directions as we wait by the door. And enjoy just that like glorious animation. I really like these peeks behind the scene here where you get to see that the zombie, like how they spawn, that they kind of do this like tilt up thing. It's really, it's weird, but fun and funny. All right, so there's number 3. So we've got, we should be right on time for our train any second now. No, come on, there we go. And that's chapter 4.
Woo.
All right, we have a $50 donation from Vemarok. Says, I only just realized who was doing this run. Thank you, Foldable Human, for your amazing series of videos about the Book of Henry. Led to a great night with a group of friends. We have a $50 donation from Dark NB God. Says, good luck, Dan. You're killing it. And everyone on Sword Squad is rooting for you.
Ooh, Sword Squads.
We have a $50 donation from Anonymous. Says, what a great surprise to see Dan on this event. I love his videos, and I'm looking forward to his run. Greetings from France.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
We have a $30 donation from Gertrude Perkins. Says, Amy is a wonderful mistake of a game, and I'm so glad to watch Foldable Human speedrunning it. I've been a big fan of you since we were a talking cardboard box, and it's really cool seeing you become a speedrun superstar. Good luck, and let's keep those doctors doctoring. Let's see here. We have a $25 anonymous donation. Says, came for the video essays, stayed for the speed runs. Love your stuff, Foldable Human. Doubly excited because the better you do, the sooner I get the next 50 Shades video. Here's $25 to Runner's Choice. Keep up the good work and good luck on the run.
All right, so chapter 5 here is meant to be a culmination of all of the skills that we have developed in the preceding chapters, and we're going to use a few of them. So, all right, push the dumpster, sneak past Letterman jacket, count to wait for the sky to turn pink, and then crap, Crystal, what's
okay.
next?
So you got
No.
you got infected.
Got infected.
You
Yeah.
gotta Okay, so you snuck past the Letterman guy. You pushed the dumpster. You have to push the second dumpster
Push
to block
the second
t-shirt.
dumpster.
Okay.
No, we don't have to block the guy. We skip that.
Okay, call the Amy over to the. No, so you're
Skip
pushing
that.
the second dumpster. Call the Amy over the pipe.
Skip that.
Push the third dumpster and the car out of the way.
Pushing the car.
Okay, so you have to go past the two zombies to the payphone and then use it to lure them away from the glyph. Then you have to retrieve Amy and bring her to the glyph to charge her silence bubble power, then go back to where you retrieved Amy and use the silence on the broken glass.
Okay.
And then follow the zombie in the gas station halfway around the pumps, go through the gap in the fence, cross the parking lot, charge Amy's shockwave power again from the glyph on the door of the tow truck, face the main street, fire shockwave around the corner of the brick building to the left. Then you have to go over the car in the middle of the street, hitting the second car, triggering the alarm and luring away the zombies. You have to fire a second shockwave behind you at the car in the parking lot of the gas station, luring away the zombies patrolling to your right. Quickly move around the corner with Amy hiding behind the single piece of fence. Fire a third shockwave at the car you originally fired a shockwave past the first time, luring the zombies back towards the tow truck. Sneak down the street towards the blockade, ducking into the alley on the left. Then you have to pick up the yellow key card and the board and then kill the zombie in that final alley.
Okay, I'm just going to pick up the key card instead and then reload from the checkpoint.
Great.
How does that sound?
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
like a good
All right.
plan.
All right. Oh, hey, Amy, where did you come from? So this next little bit here, I'm really bad at. So if anything is going to go just completely pear-shaped, it's going to be this hallway. So expect flailing. So this soldier is going to come out, and now we need to evade him. But the fastest way to evade him is to get into this locker, which changes a trigger so that we won't get instantly killed when we try to run through the door. But then I need to get and can. Nope. Okay, there. Come on, Amy. No, just go. Just go. Just go. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, I didn't die. It's good. It's all good. It's good. It's good. It's
only
good.
in Amy
It's
would
good.
it be bad that you're bad at throwing a child off
Bad at-
ledges.
I am bad at throwing that child off this ledge. All right, now we descend into, again, 90s level design, the mandatory sewer level.
Mandatory.
Let's hear it for sewer levels. Yeah. All right. So we'll just put this small child through small vulnerable child through this jagged rusty gate. This was actually the level that during my casual run I started to sense that Amy might actually be pretty good for might turn into a good speed run. There's a glitch that I found in this level that we don't use anymore because it's faster. We found faster ways, but this gate that I'm opening right here, so what's going to end up happening is there's going to be a whole bunch of zombies that are going to spawn. It's going to be essentially another gauntlet like in Chapter 4. But if we close this gate behind us, then the zombies just get frozen in place. Their pathing glitches out, and they just stay where they are. But it takes longer to close the gate and reopen it. So we're going to let them. We're just going to let them spawn and bring Amy down to the end here. It's another DNA lock. And I have a confession to make. I just brought Amy down so I could use her lantern to see the bridge. I didn't actually need her at all, and I'm not gonna bring her with me. It's
Just
fine.
leave her.
She's fine. She can take
fend
care of
off
herself.
those 3 zombies.
She's fine. She's got magical powers. She's fine. It's fine.
She's okay.
It's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
She's
It's fine. And that's Chapter 5.
All right, we have a $10 donation from Vexel. Says, hey, Dan, it's been a lot of fun putting this run together with you, and it's so cool to see it here at GDQ. I'm so proud. You're going to do great. Donation to Crystal's Choice.
My choice.
We have a $10 donation from Sassy J. Says, hello, Dano and Crystal. I'm stuck at work a bit down the street from SGDQ, but being able to watch the Amy playthrough makes it all better. I've only caught the tail end of a few of the speedrun learning curves, so I'm looking forward to a full run. Hopefully loading times aren't too terrible. Good luck, Foldy.
They're always terrible.
Always.
It's actually, we did find that the run is 4 minutes faster on Xbox 360, but my Xbox is broken.
And that
so
4 minutes is specifically cut out of all of these load
the
times.
4 minutes is specifically cut out of all of these load times. It loads 4 minutes faster on Xbox.
We have a $250 donation from Morgan LePlays. Says, so happy to donate during Foldable Humans, soothing tones during the apocalypse. Make quick work of the Jareds and Steves.
Yeah. All right, so we're into chapter 6 now. Time is going to be coming up pretty quickly here, less than 2 minutes, unless things go wrong. So I just want to reiterate something that we've talked about a little bit about implicit rules. So this is a survival horror game, and survival horror game then comes with it a whole bunch of implicit assumptions about how you are supposed to engage with it. And Paul Quissette actually talked about this in one of the promotional interviews for the game, saying that Lana is a normal woman set in a very hostile environment. It wouldn't make sense to see her just run onto an enemy and hit him frenetically.
Yeah,
So
why would
what
she do that?
So what we're going to do is we're going to trap the final boss in an elevator and hit him frenetically with a crowbar. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, couple dodges, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, time.
Woo!
So that's Amy. Any questions?
So many questions.
And now, if you watch through the closing cutscene, you get just the mother of all sequel bait for a sequel that will probably never come. Though
I don't know. We just got a Shaq Fu sequel.
we did. So if Paul Quissette wants to actually finish Amy, he can do it. And yeah, I guess that's it for us. Thank you so much. Paul Quissette, if you saw this, merci pour le travail, and Dr. Sans Frontières, merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. And